What's up and welcome to another episode of the Scott and Ian Show on the SBL Podcast. Special edition breaking news. NAMM 2023, it happened. It was crazy. I was there. It was my first time. SBL sent me, Sharon, and Pablo, 3 people from the SBL content team out to NAMM to figure it out, to see what makes it tick, to check out all the gear, to hang with all the people. Oh, and it was delicious. People talk about like, oh, NAMM is so insane. It's so crazy. Like you're going to be so tired. It's exhausting. And yes, like there was one day where Sharon logged like 20,000 steps, but it was so fun. I couldn't wait to go back each day. I was only there for 2 days, so I don't know, maybe a third would have done me in, but got to meet so many people. Hey, if you listen to this podcast and you were at NAMM and you said hi to me, thank you so much. Like it brought me a ton of joy meeting everybody, saying hi, chatting a bit, even though it was insane on the floor, so noisy. But of course, we checked out all the gear. Of course, I kept copious notes, and Scott had to know all about it, and I am going to debrief him and thus you in this episode, so hold tight. Hey, check it out. This week at SBL, I have to say, a brand new course just came out, Rhythm Section Development Part 2 with yours truly and Steve Gould, an incredible drummer, wonderful friend of mine. We did a Part 1. It went really well. SBL asked us to do a Part 2. It's awesome. We go through syncopation exercises. We talk about bass and drummer relationship. It's wonderful. Hey, if you haven't checked out the free 14-day trial, do it. And if you become a member, we're doing a $50 off a year promotion right now. So check it out at scottsbasslessons.com. Now, let's get to this episode.
Sometimes I'll tell you what, this mic is like, it's a Shure, what is it?
SM7.
Something, yeah, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
So, and it's got like an XLR and stuff like that, but to plug it in your laptop, you can just use like a little USB thing-a-bob, you know, like a little USB thing. And dude, it is a piece of shit. Like, fucking get your shit together, Sure. Like, falls out the back of the mic. It's just
really
crap.
Hey,
it's crap.
Hey, listen, just get this one. Just get the one that you plug the XLR into. It's the standard. This is the one you should have.
And what do I do? Like, does that go in my computer?
Well, you have to have an interface, you know, so some kind of, yeah. It's time to level up, dude. You leveled up your webcam. You leveled up your webcam. Now it's interface. Listen, I think I can get you going. I think I could get on a call with you and get you a little interface. You'd plug right into it. You'd love the way the mic sounded. You love the way the bass sounded. Little 2-channel sits on your desk, little volume knob on it. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah,
we need to do that when you come over in June, right? Let's go shopping. You're just going to shopping. You're going to let's
sort you out, dude.
Let's scrap everything else and let's just go shopping. You can sort me out.
Oh my God, that sounds like a dream come true.
What camera have you got? What camera do you like? I was actually
this one.
Just to say it. What? Oh, have you got is it the camera that you're using now?
No, this sucks. You've got a really nice webcam, and mine. Now I look freaking orange. Mine sucks. My webcam sucks. It was great when I got it.
Up your webcam game. Yeah. Well, the deal, I was like watching somebody today that I kind of like, I know through a friend of a friend, right? So I was watching, and he was doing this. He's got 2 YouTube channels, one with like 500,000, another with like 700,000. I know you hate him already. You're like, dude. Anyway, so, but he does it all at home as well, and he's not like a video maker. He's just like he's a business guy, right? He's building businesses, and he just uses YouTube to, you know, grow the community and stuff like that, and then creates products and programs to help that community. So, but I was just like looking at his videos. I was like, damn, he was so good.
Oh yeah,
it's just sort of like really like just great lighting, cool editing. He doesn't edit them, but it just looked great. And I was just like, if I wasn't just such a chump. If I wasn't such a chump, I would be able to do. Maybe I just need to I think, do you know what it is? I think it might be that I'm just so ADD. I just have a hard time sometimes sitting. I've got no patience for it.
Well, I think though, like if there were a carrot though, because you are like goal oriented and you are results driven, right? Like if there were a carrot, if someone said, this is going to be the result of you doing this, you'd go, oh, okay. And you take it super seriously. I mean, think about it, dude. Think about the material you're learning for the record right now. Now, if that was just something of just like, you should learn these cool tunes, you'd never do it. Ever.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
It's a carrot. So I have to come up with some kind of like, I have to make you believe that getting the microphone set up or, you know, but I mean, dude, I have that stuff too. My world
will be like, my life will be full. It'll be complete. Anyway, dude, we're here to talk about the NAMM update. The NAMM update. Ian went to NAMM. He took that place by storm. There was like fans throwing themselves at his feet, throwing their pants. There was like it was a pants fest.
I love that there is this vocabulary discrepancy because I think you meant right there throwing their underwear, and I will say, but as an American, we hear it as literally like your pants, just like a big old set of trousers coming in hot, you know,
like some jeans slap you in the face.
But I love this idea of big bearded dudes throwing their tighty whities. That didn't happen. That did not happen.
That's a shame.
I will say, can you guess? I think I already told you. Damn. I'm going to ask you again, though. Can you guess what every single person said to me when they said hi? So I got approached by a bunch of people. It was so fun to meet everybody. Every single person said the same thing. What'd they say?
I know what it would have been. You have told me, but I would have known anyway. They would have said, holy crap, I didn't know that you are a man mountain. Like you are like, you're stock. Okay. You're like like Vikings run deep. Like they run deep. You are a big dude. Yeah.
I'm a big dude.
People don't get that.
Yeah, I know. You see someone on screen and you just assume they're all like what? What do you assume everyone is? 5'10"?
Dude, I tell you I know exactly why it is. So here's the interesting thing. I know exactly why people don't think that you're huge, because you are completely in proportion. That's the weird thing. Yeah. Like when you see somebody huge, like it's sometimes easy when they're sort of like, they're going to be like super gangly, they're going to be just sort of like, yes. I've got a friend of mine, like I talk to on Zoom sometimes. He is like, he's 6'7", and you kind of know, right? But with you look, everything proportionally is totally normal, but just big. So when you see you in real life, you're like, whoa. Yeah, I can remember the first time I saw you. In my mind, I was just like, oh, yeah, Ian's just my size. Just my height. How tall are you?
6'3".
6'3". But it's also, and I mean this, everybody listening, Ian comes from Viking stock. Like,
dude, okay.
Yeah, like me, if there was a war, if stuff went down, they'd send me out first. I'd be cannon fodder. Like Ian would be chilling in the back. They'd be like saving their secret. Ian and the Vikings, they'd be saving you all, right? And then once all of us lot had been sort of like, demolished by the cannons, they'd be like, right, send in the Vikings. Yeah. But like you are like, your family are Scottish though, right?
Yeah. And I think, I don't know, man. I mean, it's just funny because I just feel like me, right? And then someone even said to me, like the Trickfish guys, like I ran into the Trickfish guys and one of them were like, oh man, see, I told you he was big. And then the other guy was like, yeah, but he's not as big as the rumor. And apparently it had been going around like, it spread like a game of telephone that I was like 6'7".
Yes, you should really lean into that, actually, I think.
I'm not 6'7".
That'd be amazing.
But it was so fun to meet everybody. I've got a list, dude. Look, I came prepared. I've got notes. Everybody wants to know. We did a lot of stories on the SBL Instagram, and shout out to Pablo who came along on the SBL team. That was incredible. I'd never met Pablo. That was so fun to hang with him and meet him. And of course, Sharon Reynolds came out as well. And it was a blast. They are so awesome. And we had a great time. We just palled around, talked to tons of people, played as much stuff as we possibly could,
Played
and tried to, and we just tried to like provide value on the socials of SBL. We had a great time, but we couldn't break it down into detail. It was so loud there that we just like trying to go live too. You're like, hey, so we're here at NAMM. You know what I mean? Like it just didn't feel like the vibe. And so I thought it would be really fun to do this quick NAMM update podcast. We're not going to go too long, but I just wanted to give you, everybody out there, just a shout of what the coolest stuff was. So I've got a list. I could run down the list. If you have questions, Scott, I don't know how you want to tackle this.
Just go. I am a spectator. Go down the list and I will be the audience. I'm standing in for the audience. Audience, I'm here for you.
All right. Here are the things that really stood out to me. I tried to write them all down, and basically I was going to do them in alphabetical order as to not prioritize certain things over others, but that didn't happen. So I'm going to start with the thing that I saw first, which was 2-Rock amps. Now let me say this. 2-Rock amps are 2-Rock. You know those? Oh, they're so cool. No. It's guitar stuff. So listen, everybody's already tuning out. Yeah. But it's the stuff that like Mayer plays. There's a ton of people that play these amps, and they're so beautiful. And I just wish, maybe I'm alone, that some bass manufacturers would take some aesthetic nods from some companies like 2-Rock. They're these beautiful, vintage, classic looking, and that's just me, right? That's just, I've just got a vibe of that. But sometimes, Scott, I feel like the aesthetic from Guitarville is like automobile, architecture, and the aesthetic from Bassville is construction site.
Yes. So there are two companies that jumped to mind when you were talking about this that have done bass amps in this kind of style before that I got really excited about, and then they stopped making them. Yeah. I think they did anyway. Number one, Milkman. Milkman Sound?
Yeah, I think they still make them.
Do they still do them?
Maybe. I don't know. They weren't at NAMM.
Milkman bass amp. Let's see if they do it. Ooh. 700 watt.
Yeah, they bass. And they're beautiful. They're
like
very
a little
cool.
head, hand wire tube meets Class D power. Yeah, so you
that's
can
that hybrid thing we were talking about. Yep.
Yeah, so they've got a vibe going on, Milkman, and also Matchless as well.
Yes, oh man, and Matchless doesn't build the Thunderman anymore, I don't think. But
it doesn't. No.
And maybe, hey, look, maybe there's not a market for this. Maybe it's like I'm the old guy that's going, they need to look like classic guitar amps, and everyone's rolling their eyes because they want something they can put in their gig bag, right? But damn, dude, there's such a difference, and the difference is stark, and I see it, and whatever, it's all good. Let me tell you this next one. Have you heard of GR? We're going to contrast 2-Rock with GR amps and cabs.
I think I have actually. Let me have a look. I'm just, if anybody's sat next to their laptop, I'm just next to my desktop here. I'm just sort of like
Scott's going to do the research here.
I'm checking the stuff here. GR bass, Pure Sound. It says the GR bass Aero Tech or something like that.
They're not the aesthetic I'm talking about, but they do have a cool vibe. They're made out of the lightest weight, like recycled. They did like a cabinet that's made out of recycled water bottles. They did do a cabinet that's carbon fiber.
Cabs, carbon fiber cabs,
and they are shockingly light. Shocking. Like you pick up one of the cabs and you laugh because it's so light.
Really?
Yes. And
this is interesting.
It was cool. Again, like aesthetically, it's hard for me because, it's just not the vibe that I go for.
You're not into the vibe,
But they were really cool and the nicest guys, and we hung out and played them. We played them so loud in front of other booths, and I felt bad.
So
they're like, hear how loud it can crank, and you do, and then the people at the other booths right next to you were like, okay, guys, okay. Yeah.
Wow, cool, it's light. It's light, dude.
Crazy light.
It's light. £38 for a 6x10.
Yes. Like the lightest that I've ever heard of.
Crazy.
Yeah. And
so what's a 2x10? What's like a 2x10?
I mean, negative pounds.
So let's look at 4x10.
Like it picks you up and takes you to the gig. You're like, whoa, this is service.
The 4x10 is £25.
Yeah. Yep.
What?
I know. It almost feels impossible.
So
that was
4x10 heart key. Let's see.
I like that you
I'm just
chose
trying
that.
to find something that's kind of like
I think. Well, I can
standard
410 before they did lightweight box construction and before Neo speakers were like 90.
Right, this 4x10 X, yeah, this is like 40 kilograms. This heart key one. But yeah, I can remember having like one of the heart keys, and it sounded incredible actually.
Yeah.
But it was like a fridge, and it was really 90 pounds. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Carry on. Carry
on. So that was cool. Those were really interesting. We're gonna move on to the Ampeg SGT DI. I know you wanted to hear about this.
Yeah,
Scott.
I did. Yeah.
The bummer is Yamaha had a huge wing, and so they had like Line 6 in there and Ampeg, and the Ampeg display was tiny. And the Line 6 display was tiny, and it made me upset. Yamaha, prioritize your sick brands. Like Line 6 and Ampeg, there was a little SVT smashed in a corner, and they had that DI out. The DI looks great. I will say there was a band playing. There was no way to hear this thing, but everybody should go check out Philip Conrad. Philip Conrad on YouTube, who did a review of this, and he was maybe the guy that you saw, Scott, because he played it against his mic'd up.
Yes. I left a comment actually on his video, and he was like, "Dude."
Oh, listen, man, Philip is so cool. He's a dear friend of Rhett Shull, and Rhett Shull is an awesome creator. Yes, he and Rhett Shull have been playing together for a long time. Rhett Shull also was at NAMM, and it was so fun to get to see him and hang. He has been very inspirational to me.
He looks tall.
Dude, Rhett Shull is tall. So Rhett Shull said to me, like, "Oh man, you're tall." I always forget how tall you are because I met him last summer, and I was like, "Dude, you too." He was a guy that I was surprised when I met him. I was like, "Damn, dude, you are tall." He's super tall.
A bit of length. He's got a bit of length.
He's 6'2", 3'4", I don't know, something in that zone. But anyway, Philip Conrad, killing bass player, killing content creator, did a great review of this online that you should go check out. He compares it against the Origin bass rig.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. I mean, I don't want to spill the beans because I want you to go give that guy some love and watch his video. I don't know that, like, the Ampeg DI pedal is really big. I think if you wanted an option to do a B15 and do the SVT thing, it could be a cool option. I don't know. I like the stuff that I have just fine. I love my Noble DI. I love my Jad Freer DI. I love the Origin stuff. So I don't think I'll be purchasing that, but I do think it is a really strong entry into the market. So kudos, Ampeg.
Yeah.
Yamaha, get Ampeg their own dang booth next year. Come on. Can we move on to Adamovic basses?
Yes.
Adamovic looked like Carl Thompson, maybe a single cut Fodera. They build these beautiful instruments. I can't remember. Oh, Netherlands, maybe. I'm so sorry. I can't remember where they're from.
Adamovic.
Yeah.
I'm here, dude. I'm with you. Oh. Yes, Netherlands. Yes. I'm on the website now.
Yeah, dude. Dutch company. Am I correct to say that? Does Dutch and the Netherlands go together? The American ignorance right now that is just pouring out of me is astounding, and I'm sorry. They made some really cool instruments. Again, aesthetically, not my cup of tea, but very, like, incredibly beautiful, well-built. If you want that, like, boutique, single-cut, elven, the brambleberry wood, Scott, with the finest appointments.
Absolutely,
so many woods hardware, with a ramp, with electronics hidden beneath.
They've got these huge ramps that sort of like with the pickups buried in them, haven't they? Yeah, lots of single cuts, kind of like Federa-y, right? Like got a bit of a Federa vibe.
And I think Carl Thompson, like the headstock to me felt Carl Thompson-y.
Yes.
Cool instruments, nice guys, really fun to see them.
Sharon liked it, right?
Yeah, Sharon liked it a lot. And I should also say in that same neck of the woods was Dingwall. And of course, we're fans of Dingwall. We've done some videos with Dingwall. They're just so awesome. Sheldon is so rad. Philippe, who works for their social media, Philippe or Felipe, again, so sorry. They are just awesome dudes, make really cool stuff, have these great finishes. Whenever I play one of those, I'm like, oh yeah, this is like, it's kind of like the sickest modern, like piano vibe, like where just every note feels even and big, and they're so lovely. So it's fun to see those guys.
They've done a great job of cementing their space within the new metal kind of scene as well. Just
definitely. They have become like a voice for that. And I think that, there's also they're trying to honor that. They had the Duran Duran, the John Taylor Rio bass there.
Oh, yeah.
That I guess they only made like 82 of them or something, 83, something like that. And they sold out like immediately. They did a couple cool 80s colors as pink, and it had like cool stripes on it and stuff. Just
when you say sell out, like it's full of dealers, isn't it? NAMM is full of dealers buying gear. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
That's right.
Got it.
Yeah, NAMM is not open to the public, but you can go if you're a dealer, right, or or an artist or a content creator. They've opened it up to some other folks, and dealers come and they place orders, and like that stuff just gone.
In my opinion, Jacob Umansky's is the best looking.
Dude, it's so sick.
I love it. I've always loved it. I love the kind of sort of like the way that it's got this maple. Well, it's got an ash front on it, I think, but then but it's got a solid color back, and it kind of wraps around.
How cool is
wicked.
That?
Yeah, it's cool.
He based it on like Venom, Spider-Man, right? Carnage, Venom.
Oh, no, I like it even more.
That black and white thing. Yeah, so it's like a Marvel throw, which I really.
He's awesome.
Jacob's so awesome. Jacob, we love you. Let me move on to Labella and Olinto. So Labella and Olinto actually and Trickfish all shared a booth, and just seeing James and seeing Mitch and seeing Eric from Labella and Olinto was so fun. They're such great dudes. James does all the finishes. Mitch plays all the basses and does a lot of the content. I don't know that he's involved in building. I'm not sure. Mitch, do you help build?
Mitch is just there for vibe. That's he's just like,
dude, like, listen. Yeah. And it's
Eric,
important.
CEO, like everybody's got their role. Mitch, vibe,
dude,
vibe. Yeah,
and you gotta have a vibe guy. Mitch is a killing vibe guy, and a monstrous bass player. We're big,
outlandish.
We're big Mitch fans, and so Mas Hino's there too. He wasn't at NAMM, but he's the guy that's winding the pickups. I played some Olintos that blew my mind. That really felt great.
Really,
yeah. Like your P bass that you love that you have. I played a couple of jazz basses.
Jack's got it. Jack stole it.
Jack's
unloaded
got it
over at Jack's place. Yeah.
That's so cool. I mean, they also made this new set of flats called Fat Wounds. They're going to call them low tension Fat Wounds that Mitch really spent a ton of time developing, and they hooked me up with a couple sets of that. I just put them on a P bass actually, and they're huge. They're almost like Jamerson Gauge, but they sound amazing.
And are they low tension? Are they squishy?
They're lower tension than the Jamerson set, but I wouldn't describe them as like really like TIs, like low tension. They're a big gauge and they feel meaty, but they're not going to they're not going to canoe your neck maybe like the Jamerson gauge. Maybe got to give a little truss rod tweak, but I think you'd love them. They're so cool.
I love that. I love their, what's the word? I love their just sort of outlandish commitment to flats and the world of like Fender style instruments, the P bass, the jazz bass, the flat wounds.
It's very cool.
Like all those guys, I absolutely love the direction they're taking Labella.
And it's funny because someone our friend
Olinto,
Luke, our friend Luke Anderson on Instagram was like, "Hey man, what do you think of Olinto versus Nash?" And I have a real struggle with companies that I perceive that are just essentially loading up a copy, like a straight up Fender copy. And some companies do like Fender copies or, like a super Fender, but I think they've got really some cool things under the hood. And I think a great example of that is Olinto. Like they're not just doing a Fender. They're making these small changes. They're doing these things where, like on their 50 style instrument, they move that pickup a little bit so you get all the harmonics. On the jazz bass, they've made this circuit with a stack knob where each pickup has its own cap. So, they're doing some really cool stuff versus buying all parts and putting Fralin pickups in them or whatever. Like, there
and
is
also
a differentiator to me.
Yeah, there's something about the history of Labella. Obviously, the history of Labella, the history of Masino. So if people don't know, Masino is like legendary luthier that now lives in New York, but he was also, I think, he was like head of the luthiers over at Atelier Z. I don't think that was his exact title, head of the luthiers. But he was like one of the like master luthiers over at Atelier Z.
That's right.
He also worked at Rudy's back in the day.
And did he work at Pensa too?
Yeah. Which was out of Rudy's, right?
Actually, I don't know.
Yeah, so Rudy's, like that's they were made in Pensa were made in Rudy's.
Ah, cool.
And then Pensa and Sir obviously split. Pensa and Sir used to be Pensa Sir.
That's right.
Those two companies split. They both came out of Rudy's. Masino made that. So Masino made, for instance, the blue fretless that Richard Bonner plays with Pat Metheny. That one. That was Masino that made that. So he was at Rudy's. Then he went over to, I think, Japan, made Atelier Z. Then he went back to New York. Now he's working for Olinto, which is owned by Labella. And there are loads of legendary stories about Masino. I actually heard back in the day that he used to be a graffiti artist.
Really?
I'm not sure I'm like spreading misinformation here, but I think he used to be a graffiti artist in New York, and he used to like put his tag inside of the bases that he used to make. And I think that's freaking cool.
Wow, that's so cool.
And now like Masino is probably, I don't know, in his 50s, right? So he's just been a legend that's been around for a long time. And I think that magic that he brings, and get that and then put it with all of the Labella magic, their commitment to their art and their family who have been making strings for hundreds of years.
Yes.
Two brothers that came over from Italy. And it's just like, there should be a film written about it, right? So yeah.
Well, talking to Eric too from Labella, he talks about this in just these family stories, the Labella family that went through all this mob stuff, like factory burning down, all these, all this insanity with their family. And it's just a wild story. I want to shout out to, I said his first name, but I want to say his last name. I want to shout out James Carbonetti as well, who makes Carbonetti guitars, but James does all the finishes. And the thing about the Olintos that I find maybe the most intoxicating are the finishes. They do these nitro finishes. They're super thin. They have a cool aesthetic in terms of color. Right now, they may or may not be building me a jazz bass. Oh, I cannot wait. What I said to James, I said to him, you're gonna do the finish on mine, right? He's like, nah, man, we're farming yours out. And I'm like, the New Yorkers, man, they're gonna give you the Raz.
I love the New York energy. Was there a lot of New York energy? At the Labella stand.
Oh, truly. And Trickfish was there as well. So shout out to Ryan and Justin.
Right.
They had a big rig that was there. They're doing a new amp that was like monster, like a big cab. And it had this big head on it that I think you could bridge to like 2,000 watts. Obviously, we didn't really get to open it up. But man, it was really cool to play through that. And then I need to shout out Daryl Anders too. Daryl Anders from Dunlop showed up.
Yes,
he had his Stenbeck bass. So he was busting out the Stenbeck bass, was playing that at
was there, right?
Well, no,
Tom
he
Stenbeck
wasn't.
Was there, yeah.
No, well, maybe, but I didn't see him. If he was there, I didn't see him.
He was there. He was there. Yeah. I saw pictures of him.
I didn't see him.
He was definitely there, yeah.
I wish I would have seen him.
He's such a nice guy.
Missed opportunity, but it was really cool. I played that, I played Daryl's Stenbeck, and just amazing. And the Olinto, Labella guys were so cool of like letting us like play that bass in their booth, and just amazing. I got to tell you too. Oh, Glockenklang was there. You know that amp company?
Oh yeah, the German guys.
I couldn't believe it. Yeah, Glockenklang was there, and it was so cool because Sharon was with me when we went over to the Glock booth, and Sharon speaks German. And so I think there were two people there, guy and a girl at the Glock booth, and I don't remember their names, but Sharon started to speak German to them, and they were like relieved and delighted that finally, you know what I mean? There was someone that they could converse with without too much, there's all that noise, and when maybe it's like you speak German and English as a second language, and then combined with the noise of NAMM, brutal. But then when there's somebody that just speaks your language, so they loved Sharon. They didn't care about me, but it was great because we went over there and I was like, hey, you guys, my name's Ian, and this is Sharon. We work with SBL. And he was like, never heard of you. It was great. It was great because it was like, lest we get too big of a head about what we do. You know what I mean? Like so many people were coming up and saying, I love SBL and I love what you do. And I love your videos. And then, walk over to the Glock booth. I'm like, hey, we work at SBL. And he's like, who cares? What is that acronym?
Yeah,
great.
I can see the issue here. I'm on their website. By the way, Glock and Clang are great bass amps, but whoever runs this company doesn't go on the internet a lot.
Right. Yes, I could tell.
I'm on their website now. Yeah, they don't go on the internet a lot.
Yeah,
maybe that's a good thing.
It's all good. I mean, cool amps, such like it's more of that construction site aesthetic. But to me, it's like 90s, it's like 90s vibes. They've always had the same vibe and just a fun brand.
Yeah, like big amps and stuff like that. Yeah. By the way, if it wasn't clear, I wasn't saying like he hasn't been on the internet because he should have heard a bit of SBL. I was like, he doesn't go on the internet much because their website is not great. That's what I was saying. Their website site's super, super, super basic.
Yeah, it's all good. I got to get through a couple more of these.
Construction vibes, though. Yeah, go for it, dude.
It is. But I love the name. I love that it's called Glock and Clang, dude. What a great name. Good
when
Lord.
You want to Glock and Clang the bass. Glock and Clang.
Glock and Clang. Yeah, it sounds like what we do when we slap the bass.
Yeah, exactly.
I got to shout out Grez Guitars, Grez. I know you've looked at this, Scott, before, but Barry...
I'm having another look now.
Man, Barry at Grez Guitars. He was a one-man show. He had a small booth across from the GR cabs, and he was just getting pelted by brutal, sound pressure levels from that GR booth. So I'm sorry about that, Barry. But the Grez Guitars are so cool. It's old school vibe. They remind me of like Dan Electro.
Oh, yeah, they're nice, yeah.
But man, they do short scales, long scales. He does these reclaimed 100-year-old redwood tops. Just beautiful construction, lipstick pickup. So totally like throwback vintage vibes. But man,
is it all short scale? Oh, well, no, long scale as well.
A short and a long, and it's a vibe. It's not for everybody, but it's for me. I mean, I saw those and was just like, they're so cool. They would record so well. I know, just beautiful. Picking it up, like when you pick up a great bass and you're like, oh yeah, this is amazing.
Yes.
It's mahogany back and neck, I believe. Ebony fingerboard, just how he did the fretwork all by hand. I mean, killer. I was surprised. He does a thing where he buys those Babbitt's bridges. I think, is it how you pronounce it? Babbitt's?
Babbitt, yeah, I think so. And he takes the individual saddles off, right? And then puts them on his basses without the actual bass plate. Yeah,
he takes them apart and flips them around and does this cool thing. And anyway, it was so cool, Barry. It was really fun to meet you, man. I got to move on to Swan, Argentina.
Yes, Swan basses.
Man. Very
kind of like Federi, I think.
Yes.
When I see these.
And, we got hip to Swan from Boom Bishop, Bernice Travis Earl, who plays the Swan basses. And, man, hanging out there, it was like a who's who, man. Everybody was stopping by that booth. There was like a lot of love there. And it was so cool, dude. You know what's amazing? So many things are amazing about Pablo Yesquez at SBL. Am I pronouncing his last name correctly? Our own Pablo?
You are now.
You're like, I'm not sure. He could interpret, why? Because dude speaks Spanish. So like, it was amazing. We got to hang out. And so like, if there were people there that wanted to chat, Pablo was the interpreter, and man,
it was all good. Yeah.
It made it so fun. And so I was talking, with the main guy at Swan, who actually, I don't remember his name. But we had a ball. We had a ball and played those basses, killing instruments.
They look lovely, don't they? I'm just looking at them now. Yeah, like I think that obviously they're inspired by Federa, but I think they've got their own vibe going on as well. They use Mike Pope preamps, same as Federa. They've got the same pickups, I think, that Federa use, but they've got their own vibe going on. They look great.
They did a cool like short scale 6 string that the B string sounded great, and it was just
was
awesome.
it that weird? There was a weird one, like a single cut, but then it had a hole through it.
Yes, I played that one.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
Was that nice? Yeah,
it was so nice. Yeah, and just the vibes over there were great. Check them out if you like that. If you like, everybody check out Swan Basses if you like that boutique vibe. Let me give a shout to Guild real quick. Guild had a display, and they had 2 hollow bodies there. They had a Starfire with a P-bass pickup in it, which was really cool. I'd never seen one in the flesh. And then they had, of course, a classic Starfire with the 2 pickups. Let me just say this. I feel like Guild, holler at me. Hey, Guild, give your boy a holler. Your basses are so rad, and they just people need to know. Now, you might think, oh, the Starfire, yeah, everybody knows. No, not everybody knows. People need to know. So come on.
People
you also make, Guild, you make the coolest single coil pickup. That Guild BS1, I think it's called Bisonic 1, is one of the biggest, most beautiful sounding pickups. Let's talk about it some more. So let's get that social media going. Guild, holler at your boy. I love your basses.
Come on, Guild.
I mean, cool, but obviously lots of guitar focus. But man, Guild makes really cool stuff. You want a sweet hollow body at not a crazy price, 30-inch scale, but a big body and big sound. That's a great call. Yeah. Couple more things, Scott. Let me give a shout out to Upeg from Japan.
You hipped me to these guys, yeah.
OOPEGG, Upeg. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but they are really cool. They use, speaking of Guild, they use a Guild BS1 in the neck position, so it's that big warm neck pickup thing, and then they use a Seric pickup, a B90, I believe, in the bridge or like mid position, and they just look cool. They're like
they look awesome.
They do, right? Future-y retro vibes, great colors. It's like, dude, sometimes I feel like, okay, you want to know where to look for aesthetic inspiration? Japan.
Yeah.
Japan absolutely, kicks ass at so many things aesthetic, right? So like they're doing this really beautiful shape. I've never seen the shape before. I've never seen the headstock shape before. They're using paddle tuners on the headstock. Like,
did you play them?
No, I didn't, because it didn't feel, they were sort of set up in this display, and I don't know the vibe. It wasn't standoffish at all. I'm not saying that. It was just like not inviting. I didn't feel invited to play the bass. That's probably on me. Yeah, I'm not a guy. I don't like go up and just grab stuff like I own the place. So I want a warm invitation. So Upeg,
stand aside.
Yeah, let's go. I want to play one of those, you guys.
No, it looks nice.
Now, let me say this too. Rickenbacker was there, but Rickenbacker does a thing where they tie up all their instruments and you cannot play them. They're all hanging, suspended from like lighting truss at like eye level. They're right there. You can touch them, but you cannot remove them from the stands. So it's so weird. You can't plug them in. You can't play them. And that was bizarre to me. Rickenbacker, come on. Apparently someone told me too on Instagram that Rickenbacker has been the same. The booth has been the same since like NAMM began. I don't know if that's true, because this was my first NAMM.
I'm looking at it now. Yeah.
But it was, I mean, cool vibe, like neon signs, and it like looked cool. But I couldn't believe that you couldn't
play one.
You couldn't play one, and that's a miss. Rickenbacker, come on.
Pretty weird, isn't it?
It's so weird.
It's pretty weird.
Come on, Rickenbacker. Rickenbacker basses are badass. They're annoying, Scott. You know that.
They are, but like I can live with the annoyance.
So cool.
This is doing nothing for my gear acquisition syndrome. This is doing nothing good for it, dude. I'm just sort of like sat here staring at Rickenbackers and freaking Swan basses.
Oh yeah, I know. There's so much good stuff, man. Let me blast through a couple here too. We went to the PV booth. It was fun to see some Cirrus. It's fun to see some new Trace rigs. We hung out a bit with Carrie Nordstrand, who makes that cat bass. I don't know how to pronounce the Axononics bass. That's not right.
Carrie's awesome.
Oh, Carrie's great. Awesome. He makes that thing called the cat bass. We played that at the EBS booth. EBS, again, making these giant construction site rigs, but they sound great. Again, aesthetically, not my vibe, but very cool, like very nice, well-built, precision, could survive the bombing kind of vibe. But the cat bass that Kerry makes is so cool. He makes them now. He's got humbuckers in him. He's got a model with single coils. He was carrying around a fretless. That was so fun to see that stuff.
Yeah.
Hung out at the Electro Harmonics booth a little bit, and that's where I met. I saw Rhett Shull. I actually met him last summer, but Rhett was there working maybe on a pedal or something with EHX. Don't want to let the cat out of the bag, but something going on with Rhett over there, and what a dude. And EHX, you just forget, like Electro Harmonics, you forget how many pedals they have. It's like
it's outlandish, isn't it? Yeah,
and they were all
Music
there.
Man there?
Yes, dude, Music Man was there. Music Man was absolutely there. We hung out with Josh Paul, who, we're Josh Paul fans. Yeah. Oh my God, big Josh Paul fan. We hung out with Josh a lot.
And his hair.
Dude, he was so cool. His hair was cool. Yeah. He also smelled great. Oh, Josh.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah,
So he can play bass. He's got the hair.
Yeah.
He's got the tats.
Yes.
He's got the freaking he's got the scent.
Yes, he has the scent.
It was like a bassist. Actually, he's probably not got the scent of a bassist. I had to imagine, like, most bass players smell a little bit off. I certainly do. But yeah. God,
he smelled great. And we hung out with him a bit at the Ernie Ball booth. Music Man was there. It was cool. I was hoping that they were going to have they make a reissue of the 76 Stingray. It's called the 76 Retro, but I think they only made
have they done Josh's signature yet?
Well, I mean, no, but they need to
do that.
Absolutely.
They need to do that, yeah.
Yes.
They need to do that. It'd be awesome.
100%.
He's so good.
He's frighteningly good. He's frightening. Yeah. Last couple shout outs. Got to see the guys at Neural DSP. Got to finally shake hands with Doug Castro, who started Dark Glass. And Amazing. I worked for Doug ages ago when he was actually having Spencer Doran from Three Leaf build Dark Glass pedals in Seattle. There is an era of Dark Glass that say on them, built in Seattle. It's like a little known fact. Now they're all back in Finland. But it was really cool to see Doug and say hi. Reverend basses. That was fun. We picked up the Ibanez Thundercat bass that weighed, Scott.
Heavier than the sun.
Yes. Heavier than Sharon, for sure. I mean, like.
This is crazy heavy, yeah.
She's like, this is as heavy as I am. Oh, insane. Yeah. And gosh, I think that's about it. We ran into some amazing people too. Steve Jenkins was there. I mentioned Rhett Shull, John Stipple, Jordan Cortese from Korg, Spectre, Aguilar. We ran into Ellen, the bass player.
Little Ellen, yeah. Mini Ellen.
It was so cool. Oh, and big shout out to Spencer Lull, too. Cannot get through this without saying hey to Spencer and Madison, Spencer's wife. We got to hang out with them. They took us out and treated us to a really nice dinner, hung out, talked all about basses and the show and everything. And Spencer at Mike Lull Basses is another guy like Olinto, where I feel like is doing something with the Fender recipe that's really cool and unique. He's putting together instruments that are so lovely, so much attention to detail, some of the best necks I've ever played ever. And I'm in love with every time I pick one up. I'm like, oh, this is really good. Shout out. He wasn't exhibiting, so there weren't basses there to play, but I own a Lull and I love it. And there might be something coming in the future. There might be a little something in the future. Steve Lawson.
Dude, you're a freaking bass terrorist. Oh, Steve was there. Steve Lawson was there.
Dude, and he
I
was
love
so
you, Steve.
lovely.
If you ever listen to it, he's lovely. He's such a lovely guy. Hung out with Steve a bunch,
Victor Wooten ran by. I got to a quick Vic sighting, but quick.
Yeah.
I know we got to blast off, but I want to say NAMM is incredible. If you've never been, you got to go. It's so fun. You see so many people. It's exhausting. Comfortable shoes are important. Hydration is important. Caffeine for this guy was important, but it was awesome. It was awesome. And I want to do it again. I'd never got tired of it. I was like, I wish this lasted. I could do it all again tomorrow. I loved it.
Absolutely.
I loved every minute of it.
Yeah. Well, hopefully I'll be there next time.
Damn right.
Right, dudes. Thank you so much for listening. And Ian, thanks for the update, man. I'll definitely be there next time.
Yeah.
And just looking forward to the hang. It sounds outlandishly cool. We've talked about it before because the London-based show got cancelled, 1 or 2 years ago and hasn't ever surfaced since. We've thought about unearthing that beast ourselves.
It'd be so cool.
Who knows? Watch this space. It would be great to do because the hang is the best thing about it. Anyway, guys, thanks so much. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Take care, everybody.